It's East Coast Conference tournament time here in Rockville Center. The Malloy men's soccer team enters the tournament as the 6th seed, and I'm joined today by head coach Chris Megaloudis. Chris, thanks for sitting down with me.
Thank you, Rob.
So let's go back to the beginning of the year. Bringing a lot of new players, a lot of transfers, a lot of freshmen. What was your kind of vision at the beginning of the year now that you're here towards the end?
Yeah, in the beginning of the year, during the school year, we were looking for some players that could come in and obviously have an impact on the team. We knew that we were losing, especially our back line last year. So defensively, we needed to make some adjustments and bring in some new guys. And I think we had a really good recruiting year. And that was the idea, just to bring some guys in. And at first, as you know, when you bring in a new team, especially with different range of players, different backgrounds, it was tough to do that in the beginning. But overall, as the season went on, we feel that they built a good relationship amongst themselves, and the chemistry started to get a little bit stronger.
Let's talk about the back line. A big standout this year has been O'Neal Dawes, the transfer from Villanova. How much has he helped kind of bring maybe some leadership and experience coming from the Big East now to Division II, and how that stabilized the back line a little bit?
Yeah, O'Neal's been great. He's been a leader on and off the field, and we knew that about him when he was at Villanova. We knew what he can do there, and having him come into this group and being that type of experienced player, vocal leader, a guy that you look at it and say is going to give everything he has on the field to give that example for the younger ones. It was great. We're really happy we have him.
And now another addition you guys made was Danuke Kinsella Bishop up at the attack. And as soon as he was able to get started with you guys, he seemed to just find a way to put the ball in the net. How big of an impact is that to have a pure striker at the top of your formation to make that pressure on the back line?
Yeah, nowadays it's very challenging to find a striker who's in form, who can score like that consistently in any type of setting, professional, college, high school, whatever it is. Whatever he does for the team, he's always impactful in front of goal, and he's just been a great guy to have. He puts the ball behind the net. We're very, very dangerous. And he's not just a guy who can score, he's also a guy who can bring other players into the game as well. So we love that about him, and he's a great player.
Now, throughout the season, we saw you guys going through some ups and downs, a lot of ties this year. But speak about how important those draws are now that we're going into the tournament. Because if you look back at some of these games, if you guys don't end up coming back to tie, you guys might have made the tournament. So how important is it to get a result, even in games that you may not be in a position to get the result, but you end up getting one anyway?
Yeah, as you know, you always want to win. You go into these games with the mindset to win, with the intentions to win. So it was a bit of a struggle to not get the wins, but we stayed competitive in every game, and we made sure that certain games we had to fight for to even get the tie. But we knew that the chemistry was still trying to be there and form within the group. So those ties actually served the purpose in getting us into the playoffs. And as you know, now it's make or break in the postseason. So at the end of the day, nobody's going to care how many ties you have if you continue winning in the postseason. So we're hoping that right now, at this point of the season, where we're at, we can go out there and get wins.
So you guys head into the postseason. You'll go up to play St. Thomas Aquinas, who's the 3 seed. You guys played them really tough here at home this past a couple months ago. What has to change in order to change the result from earlier this year now to get a win in the playoffs?
Yeah, I think early in the year, again, there was just loads of miscommunications on the team's behalf, because just getting to know each other, players maybe somewhat playing a little bit out of position to try to see if that's a good fit for the team. So at that time, we were still trying some different things. This time around, we know everybody where they're best suited, where they best can fit in within the group, and we're hoping that when we go out there on Wednesday, that we're competitive, more competitive than the other team, and want to win more than the other team. That's what playoffs is all about. A team that really does that is often a very, very successful team. And last year we showed that. We want to show that again this year.
And coming from last year's team, guys like Callum Hunt, Charlie Morgan, guys that are in your midfield and in goal, obviously, how important is that to have that continued experience going into this year after the championship run last year?
Yeah, I mean, I think you look at it the way we lost in the final. I saw immediately in their faces, and it was in my head as well. We just want to get back to that. We want to get back there again, and we want another opportunity to win an ECC title. but it's a game-by-game process. These guys are all very, very competitive in practice. You know, everything that they do now is showing that they want to win. So with that mindset, you're going to be successful. Hopefully we go out there and get the result.
Malloy men's soccer takes on St. Thomas Aquinas Wednesday at 12 p.m. in ECC quarterfinal.